Every hockey fan ever that is over 20 years old will talk to you about the past golden era of hockey. That nostalgia of a better time. But what if the NHL likes to say it in their ads, the golden era is now? Today we're going to be talking about nostalgia in ice hockey. Hi, I'm Ava and this is Caelia. Welcome to episode 6 of Pick the Game. If you like chatting about hockey, the NHL, marketing, and business in general, please click the like button and follow us for more. I post an episode every week. Before we get started, I wanted to show you this project that you'll see a lot more in next week's video. So I kind of got bored last week and I don't really wear my jersey to game. If you've seen my vlog from the last game, Hockey in Korea vlog, you'll see that I didn't really wear a jersey, I'm just wearing my normal coat. I got bored this week and over the last weekend and the last few days, I've been blinging up my jerseys. I don't know if you can tell, it's full of rhinestones now. This took me 20 hours and over 2,000 rhinestones. So I'm 100% going to be wearing my jersey this weekend. I love you. So yeah, that was my project this week for fun. I rhinestoned, blinged. I don't even know what the verb would be. My jersey, because I figured I never wear it anyway, so if it looks like shit, well, whatever, because I don't wear it anyway, and if it looks great, I might wear it once. Am I going to continue wearing it? Probably not, just because, well, I get cold. So let's get started. In ice hockey, as it is in many other sports, nostalgia is an emotional anchor for fans, bringing comfort, belonging, and identity. Shared experiences in an arena lead to incredible memories that can be recalled either together or alone for years to come. And sharing those recalled memories with other fans create a sense of belongingness to a community. Nostalgic memories can be created in so many different ways. For some, it will be their first ever hockey game as a fan, or for some, it will be their first ever hockey game played as a child. It can be your first goal if you play. It can be your favorite player's first NHL goal. And for many fans in the US, for many fans in the US, it starts with family traditions, grandparents or parents that are a fan of a specific team, and that passion gets passed down to their kids, and then grandchildren, etc. There, she's in air jail. These memories of family moments will often bring these kids back to the arena with their own kids as well. Hockey is one of those sports that have very low fan turnover rate, is kind of the term I would use. Turnover rate being changing, and fans typically stick to their team through highs and lows, and through wins and losses, and through a whole bunch of frustration. So fans really tend to stick around, often because they have always had memories with this specific team, really good times with their families, etc. And they also tend to recall really easily when their team is winning, and the really good times with their team when the team was winning.
A few moments later.
In case it's not abundantly clear, I have a dog that really likes face kisses. And she's not really happy of being up here because I am stopping her from biting me, so she's in face kisses. So all the points I've been bringing up until now are mostly for fans that have been following a team for a while, but the franchise's goals is also to create a sense of nostalgia with new fans as well. And for this, they use the reminiscence of iconic eras and team heroes. I thought this video would take me 5 minutes to record, but guess not. Franchises leverage a team's history, for example, the Maple Leaf, and their absurd amount of Stanley Cup wins in the early NHL days. They also use championship runs, like the Bruins in 2011 and their Stanley Cup win, the Penguins with their win from 2017, and further back, like the Canadiens that had their last Stanley Cup win in the 92-93 postseason. So they really use those moments for new fans as well. Franchises also use legendary rivalries, mainly the original six, but not only. For example, outside of our original six, we have Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning. This is mostly due from both of them being based in Florida. Some team rivalries even have names, like the Battle of Alberta between the Calgary Flames and the Oilers, the freeway face-off between the Anaheim Ducks and the LA Kings, or the Battle of the Hudson River between the New Jersey Devils and the New York Rangers. There's an S at the end. The Hall of Fame is such an incredible source of nostalgia material for teams and fans alike, between hockey heroes that are a tie to what fans often call the golden era of hockey, even if the NHL likes to say that we are in the new golden era of hockey, which is very much possible. I feel like in a way each era is their own golden era. There's amazing stuff going on at each point of hockey, so I don't know, but I just didn't think the NHL is saying we're currently in a golden era. It will be to be seen in the next 10 years or 20 years if 2025 is considered a golden era or not. And the classic photos and clips and broadcasts, all of those are really, really good source of nostalgia material. And there is undeniably a really big charm to those, and they are like a really true tie to the past and a positive emotional trigger for many. Okay, I'll get satisfied with her just eating my hair. Teams typically try to capitalize on the nostalgia through a few different ways. For example, with arena experiences, one of which we talked about in episode 4, the Winnipeg Jets and their whiteout tradition, which they brought back in 2011. But initially they brought it back, it was capitalizing on nostalgia because so many people had experienced it prior. But it brought it back in such a successful way that it is now again an integral part of the Jets' playoff story. Other teams, whether it is at the NHL level or in minor league level, have throwback nights with old music, old films, sometimes some of their alumni players, and ideally some that they'd have won a Stanley Cup with if it is the NHL. And the team will typically center an event around them through puck drop announcements, video of their achievements, Jumbotron appearances, signing events, etc. They'll usually bring those back. So franchises obviously try to capitalize on nostalgia in a much more straightforward manner, such as vintage jerseys and logos being brought back for a limited time, anniversary merchandise, etc. All are a way to sell as much merch as possible to fans of the team. And a few weeks ago, the Avalanche did exactly this with their it's not really light blue, it's kind of a vivid blue jersey and the vintage logo, which I will put an image of on screen, which from the reaction I've seen on social media seems to be a really, really big success. I really haven't seen that much criticism on the design, which usually you do see a lot of criticism on designs, and for once there's not so much criticism, so it seems like a pretty big success to me. Although some teams, like the Avalanche, will go all out and bring back a completely historical logo, it is in most cases. Many will focus on reminding the fans how old the team is. So for example, this season is the centennial season of the Blackhawks, so they have a centennial patch on their jerseys, and of course they're selling the centennial jerseys as merch. And they also brought back blackout jerseys. So they have three technically full new jerseys for this season, which are the away the home centennial and the blackout centennial jerseys. The New York Rangers and the Detroit Red Wings are also currently having a centennial season, and so they also have their centennial jerseys out at the moment. So all three of them are part of the original six. So actually, from this year, it means all of the original six have had their centennial already. So next time we will be seeing a centennial design for a jersey. It will be from one of the expansion teams, which is kind of exciting. Hockey Nostalgia is also an excellent source of content for franchises, online content for franchises, through their own SNS channels and through the fans. Teams show montage, that was pronounced very French, of their history, iconic goals, or crazy on ice calls. I can bet that in a decade, people will still quote November 27th, 2023, Panthers vs Ottawa. Every player on the ice has a 10-minute misconduct. Because that was a shit show. But I'm pretty sure that was a crazy call on the ice, and I'm pretty sure we'll hear about it in the next decade still. Fans also participate actively on social media activity by sharing the team's posts, making their own content, their own montages. I'm trying to pronounce it less French, but it's a word that's a French word. I'm going to pronounce it in French. Sorry. And the fans are going to be posting about being at the game. This participates in creating the next generation of iconic moments, because in truth, what makes a moment iconic is how much it is reproduced nowadays. So if no one really posts a moment, it's not really going to stay in memories, whereas if a moment has been posted 1,000 times on social media, it's probably going to become an iconic moment. That's just kind of how today's world works. The NHL is only continuing to grow and attract more fans, each creating their own memories and build on these team legends and history, and in a way creating their own nostalgia for the future. Releasing docu-series on a team, sports, or players also definitely contributes to building the legend and solidifying the nostalgia. And whether it is professionally produced or brought to you by a team fan, they have the same effect. Look at the Montreal Canadian fan, Whiskey Lung. He's a really fantastic example of that. With almost 20,000 followers here on YouTube, he creates a lot of content specifically on the Canadians, and honestly, that is a huge part of how you create those iconic moments and how you create that future generation nostalgia. He targets more of a specific fandom, while, for example, hockey psychology content also kind of falls in this category depending on what he's posting, and he's more NHL wide in terms of targeting. But both of them have content that either falls back on the great times or is participating in cementing this current hockey era into hockey history. There is a single risk with nostalgia, which is the fear of innovation and moving forward. It should never stop the teams or us, the fan, to look at the current players and see the future stars. It shouldn't stop us from making safety and gear innovation for the players, and it shouldn't stop the fans from appreciating the game and experiencing the joy of watching the games today. Nostalgia is great as long as we don't forget to look in front of us. The power of nostalgia is connecting the game with where it has been, with where it is going. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Beg the Game. Follow to never miss a new episode, and may your team score many goals this week. Bye!